Some of what is happening right now comes from a profound distrust of elites, of experts, of big institutions. As we look at what's happened here in Washington State from a leadership point of view and how citizens have also responded to the crisis, what could we do differently here to rebuild trust and help reimagine how we deal with institutions and experts?
I think trust is so important. Our world's so complicated, we have to trust in our fellow citizens and in organizations and experts. And it's declining in many cases. It's something I'm very concerned about as a citizen and as a researcher and as a teacher. I was just on a call today with the Knight Foundation, the Gallup poll, and also the Wellcome Trust in the UK. And the whole discussion was on trust. They just released some results around how the United States and internationally, what their feelings are of institutions more generally, their trust in institutions. And as you can imagine, it's declining for a lot of things, including important institutions like journalism, government. The good thing, there is some good news from it, because I'm always telling bad news sometimes. There is some good news. The good news is that trust in science has remained relatively high in the United States and internationally. The big report that came out of the Wellcome Trust showed that internationally, 3/4 of people still have trust in science. I'd like to see that one go up higher. It's actually higher in the United States. But there's a lot of distrust in other institutions too. In tech, for example. We all depend on tech. Right now, we're having this conversation because of technology. But there's a lot of distrust. And from both sides. That's actually, you see that from Republican and Democrat. There's distrust in these big technology companies. And so I know they're trying to contribute in good ways to this current situation. And so, as an example, we looked at some of the recent changes they've made to their platform. Some of these banners you may see if you go to Twitter or Facebook, for example, you search coronavirus, you might see a banner that says, here are reputable sources. And we can debate on whether that's working or not. Actually, my colleague Franzi and her graduate student Christine have looked at some of this, whether they're working or not. It's kind of an example of thing we do in the center. But ultimately, all this really comes down to your question, Hanson, which is around trust. And the institutions themselves need to do a better job reaching out to the public, which is something we're trying to do, and certainly do it in a nonpartisan way, and do our best to establish trust in each other too. We need to figure out other ways to speak to each other and don't always assume malice. But I will say, of all the institutions, I care a lot about science. Fortunately, that's good, but that's not going to stay forever, especially when we see science making mistakes because it's moving so fast in this current crisis.